We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from pretty Phoenix, Arizona.
Today, Jill and I talk, well, it's Jill Friday, and Jill talks about when is the right time to leave your job. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members. On the landinvestors.com online community, it's free, and if you're already a Land Academy member, please join us on Discord.
Stephen wrote.
I really think it's Stefan with an A here.
Okay. Excuse me. Did you just correct me on that? What if it is Stephen?
It's an offshoot of
what the heck was that?
The name Jill. Bill says.
What the heck?
I'm just horsing around.
Stefan. I don't. There's no dots or anything above the A. Wow. Should we clarify this? What the heck is that?
You know what it is? The root of all this is that I have one of the most silly common name there ever was. So when there's just a slight offshoot on it, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
All right.
Whoever.
You know who you are. Wrote, and please, as I read this question and you identify that it's you, would you please be so kind as to send him an email or to please put it in Discord or somewhere?
Yeah, please don't.
The correct pronunciation of your name.
Please don't send me emails.
Okay. Because this one apparently would like to know and make sure we get it right. Okay. Are we done now?
Yep.
Okay. It reads, pro tip. If you use the first search function on Land Academy, it will also search podcast transcripts. I recently found a great paralegal for handling a probate issue by searching the word heirship. Come to think of it, Jill says the words neighbor letters at the end of every podcast since Neighbor Scoop was released, so it might not work for this. That's kind of funny. That's cool. So on our website, you can just kind of search and then all that stuff comes up. That's good.
There's some amazing search tools on Discord and all kinds of places for all kinds of information to get really, it's one of the, that's why I put this in here. We should talk about it more. There's thousands and thousands and thousands
of hours,
of pages
of content.
And there's transcripts for beginning from episode 0. And this is episode 1578. And the transcripts are all in there, every single one. So if you do have a specific question about, I'm betting we probably talked about it, just about everything.
So someone right now is listening going, you mean I don't have to listen to this? I can just read it?
Yes.
Oh, my life just improved. I can skim the cliff notes and not have to go through this torture. Yes, that's true.
Because I'd rather be listening to Led Zeppelin anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. All right, moving on. Today is Jill Friday. When is the right time to leave your job? This is the meat of the show. Okay. One of the things that I do is still do, not very often. It's really part of career path. We've gotten busy, in case you didn't know. So us and our normal consulting is not readily available, but it is inside of Career Path. So I did a consulting recently for a person inside of Career Path, and this was the gist of the conversation. This person is in a wonderful position. Great job, W-2, brilliant man, young. Really did a good job setting himself up, great son,
really amazing
contributing, excellent in Career Path and to the community. And bless his heart, he's flipping sick of his job, and I get it. So, we don't need to go into more about that. So the conversation was like, when's the right time? So I wanted to share this with other people too, because this comes up. You get started in Land Academy, and you're doing everything right. This is a normal progression. You start realizing, wow, look how much money I've already made. Imagine if I devoted way more time to this, what I could make. I want to hurry and speed this up. So I want to just talk about, because I want to make sure you do it right. I want you to, basically, the gist is, and I want to talk about how you get there. I want you to leave your day job. I want you to make this a full-time thing when you think you should have done it 6 months or a year ago. I want you to really over budget, over plan, have everything going on. So there's no way you're going to fail. You already have 3 different product lines and all the different things going. So let me back up. I was going to explain my story. I was going to have you share your story. And then I'm going to talk about advice and some goals. So my story is, I was very lucky. I had a very good mentor. I already knew about real estate growing up in Southern California. My dad dabbled in it. He was a pilot, and some of the guys he flew around made a whole lot of money, and it was in real estate. So I already had okay, I get that. So it was in me already. My very first job, my real full-time first job, not in Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, was working for some developers in Orange County. It was great. And I would manage these projects. They would build strip malls and office buildings. And I learned to read plans, work with construction loans and the banks and the contractors and the subcontractors. It was so much fun. Then I got tied up in another job, and then I met you. And you gave me some stuff to play with on the side. I had a full day job, making a great salary, but it was a salary. It varied a little bit because it was a sales thing, but not as much as it could have. And I was doing deals on the side, and I was doing more and more deals with you. And it got to the point where I was, we had to look at each other and I had to say to myself in the mirror, you're now losing money because your dumb day job. Think about what your day job is and how much money you made last month and the month before and the month before and the month before doing land deals. And then my day job was starting to cost me money. And that's when I said, okay. And we talked about it. Yeah, it was a big decision. Big decision. And I know I pushed it. I pushed it till I was worn out. I was worn out doing the 2 different jobs. I'd get done with one job and I'd dive into the land thing, spend the weekends on it. I remember we would be out. Back then I'd have all kinds of, I would leave where we were to step outside to answer a phone and then a call. And then on my phone, I'm sending a guy an invoice to check out and pay me. Back then it wasn't all on the website, and give me the details. And I would wake up and do them the next morning kind of thing. So it was just chaos, but it was the best thing ever. And I don't regret that for a second. And I never looked back. Please tell me your story.
That's super important. And I was going to say that too. It's not so much when do you leave your job, your day job. It's really what happens after you do.
Right.
And so, Jill nailed it. I mean, you need to be able to say, wow, man, I should have done this a year ago. Then you know that was the right time to leave. Mm-hmm. You never want to look back and say, I ran out of money.
Right.
And but now I got to get another job. So you want to be overly cautious about this. And you need to have, I left my incredibly lucrative investment banking job. Incidentally enough, Mark Podolsky and I worked together in an investment bank at the end of in the late 90s and very, very early 2000s. Up till then, it was just a side hustle for me, buying and selling land. And I had $500,000 in the bank, cash. And that was enough secure. I'm not saying that that's right for you. Just like yesterday, it's like this varies. All of it varies. It's all personal preference. So, but that worked for me. That was enough cash. I didn't have, my expenses were ridiculously low. They were less than $1,000 a month. And you could get away with that back then, especially in Phoenix. So it's all personal preference, but you do not want to do this too early. Mm-hmm. You definitely want to do it too late.
Right.
And then it was just, that's how it worked for me.
Right.
I mean, I could get into a lot of details about this topic, but I really think it's personal preference. If you have other people.
And it's Jill Friday.
You have people depending on you. I didn't have anyone depending on me at all. Like
Yeah.
no one. I was not in a relationship, and I certainly didn't have any children. So those decisions are a lot easier to make. I was driving a 10-year-old car around a lot like I still am. And, with no real mortgage and no mortgage at all in a tiny, tiny, tiny little 1-bedroom apartment, which I was happy with. Those are the things that matter. I mean, you really have to look at it factually and not emotionally,
Right.
which is hard
Right.
because everyone hates their job. I mean, if you love your job, you're not listening to the show. Right?
Right. Or maybe you are. I don't know. Who really loves their job when it's a job? That's a whole nother thing, by the way. That's another topic for another show.
There's some
But
people that we, in a
I
little
guess, yeah,
neighborhood we
they
lived in California that talk about it. They're in a Hollywood production type environments and they love their jobs. But I mean, I came from Detroit. I never grew up with somebody who said, I have the greatest job ever right now. Never.
Got it.
I grew up with everyone hating their job, hating their employer, and hating the unions that they have to pay every week.
Right.
Does your dad like his job?
Yeah. Okay. You're right. He loved his job because
Did
he
your
loved to
mom-
fly.
Did
That
your
was
mother
it.
love? Did she have jobs?
Oh, yeah. And she loved not having a job. So that would be yes. Her job was taking care of my dad, and she loved that. That is very true. So I want to go on and talk about, I have a little bit of more advice than I have, and I have some goals, ways for you to know when you're ready. So my advice is this. Like we talked about, push it. I want you to really push it. I want you to give yourself 6 months to a year of trying to not only replace your current income, but maybe double your current income. And I want you to put that aside. I want you to get many deals going. When you start Land Academy, it's like we often kind of start with one product type, and then we which is true, a niche will find you. You'll find after a year or a while doing this in the number of deals, you're going to realize, no one's taking down this type of property, or no one's solving these problems, or no one is doing it the way I just figured this out, or no one's, whatever it is. And that's moving on into second gear kind of thing, where you're going and you're making it your own. I want you to do that first gear, get all that stuff moving and humming and money coming in.
Yep.
And then I want you to go into second gear when you're like, now I'm taking this to a new level. I'm doing it my own way.
Jill, this is priceless advice.
Thank you.
And I mean that.
Thank
This
you
is
very
great
much.
advice.
Now I know you've got a different revenue stream, and you're learning how to solve problems, and you're really moving your company forward. Between that second and third gear, now we can start having this conversation with ourselves. All right, I need to start looking at I really got this now. I see my company. I see where it's going to go. I figured it out. Now I'm starting to lose money.
Yeah, maybe you missed some calls. You failed at some stuff because you're at work.
Right. So what I want you to do at this point, when you're in second and third gear, somewhere in between there, I want you to set some monetary goals for yourself, like Jack did. His was $500,000. That was his sweet spot. I've heard people describe it as, I have a year's worth of income in the bank. And I knew when I had 2 years worth of, all my expenses in the bank, then I would be comfortable because I want to spend some for acquisitions, whatever it is. So set out whatever goals that you have for yourself at that point. Make them good. I do not want you to worry at all. I want a year, preferably 2, of no worries. So when you take your foot off the gas from your day job and you really put it on this, it's just going to hockey puck. That's what I want. And that's when I say it's okay to leave your day job.
This is just my opinion. This is a personal preference it's your personal preference, but I'm not sure I would do any of this unless you already did a deal. I think that
Oh gosh, yes.
I think that there's this conventional wisdom for startups in Silicon. Here's a person that has a ton of money that wants to do startups, and here's how startups in Silicon Valley get funded. You fund 50 startups, and 2 of them or 1 of them work. Never mind, there's 50 startups where 50 people work that are banking on thinking that this is it. Like, they're going to get stock options, the whole thing's going to work. But the person who's lending the money, or the owner who's shelling out all this money, It's just a numbers game to them. So you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. You want to be on the giving end of that. And so don't be that, try to be that 1 in 50, be the one. And that's what real estate is. So yeah, I mean, if you were the 1 of 50, like if you were one of the founders of, let's say, Stripe, geez, you're a multi-billionaire now. So that's not why we're here. We're not here to become billionaires. We're here to buy property for $10,000 or $12,000 and sell it for $40,000 every month and have a happy life. And so try one, get one done, and see if you like it. See if you like talking on the phone, or if you can get a partner. I hate talking on the phone. I got a partner to do it. I love the data part of this. So really approach this with no emotion and logic, and don't leave your job because you hate it. Leave your job because you did a couple of real estate deals and now you know that.
Well, I want more than a couple.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, that's
Excellent,
my
Jill.
point. I'm sorry. I don't want you to leave your day job after a couple of real estate deals
good.
and you know what's possible.
Dude, we're on the same page on
Yeah,
this.
I know. I want you to leave your job when you've done 100 real estate deals or something like that. You've done
100?
some, maybe 100.
I think between 5 and 10, and you're sitting there in the mirror saying, I could do, if I had enough time, I could actually do 10 a month.
I differ from that. No, I really want you to be, because after 10 deals, I don't have this much saved up. I don't have that much set aside. I don't have that much experience. I mean, I'm serious.
No,
I want more experience. When
I
I
didn't
left,
have Land Academy, so
I had
I had
done
to figure this stuff out myself.
probably, okay, let's say 50 to 100 deals. 50 to 100 deals, I'm happy with that.
I mean, Jill easily did 50 to 100 deals.
That's what I'm saying.
She had me sitting next to her, and we also had about 80 properties in inventory that needed to be sold. So we could sit there and say,
Yes.
we're going to put Jill to work to sell these properties and generate $250,000.
Correct.
Actually, it was like 400,000, I think.
Correct. That's when it was like,
And we had hordes of money in the bank. So
yeah.
I agree
You
with
even came to me. What was so funny too, it wasn't my idea. I'm like, I can keep burning this candle. I got this. And you're like, I think we should
I
talk
pulled her
about
aside
it.
and said,
Yeah.
honestly, you just need to leave.
Yeah.
And she's like, really? And I said,
I'm like, but
Jill,
do you remember that? I
here's
was
the
bummed
facts.
because I just got a raise too. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, I just got this great raise. He's like, I know.
what a good decision that was.
It was. Isn't that funny? I'm like, shucks. I was making more money than I had ever made in my life. And I was really proud of that. I'm like, okay. And you're right. And I did. So get many, many deals. Don't test the water and leave your job. I'm going to leave it on this. You cannot just test the water
Absolutely
and think
right.
I got this and I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
My wife's on board. I want you to push it. I want you to be exhausted.
Jill, that's so right.
And then I know it's the right time. Thank you. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Join us next week for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. You know, I'm glad that Jack Thursday goes before Jill Friday.
Oh,
'Cause it's all positive and uplifting, and all my Jack Thursday is like, what the hell?
oh. So we can leave everybody on a happy note. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to like have Jack Friday be like, what the heck is that? And then this is all I'm thinking about all weekend. Like, wow, what else am I doing wrong? God, I hope I'm not that guy. Whoever he's talking about.
Yeah,
Shoot.
is he talking about
I hope
me?
it's not me. Oh, no. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found our content valuable, and we really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and give us some feedback on the shows that you love. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.